Ladies, gentlemen, my non-binary friends, it is I, Josh Robinson here, with another video for Love Wrestling, and today I want to talk about the Women's Tag Team Championships, and I'm not talking about the criticisms. There's been a lot of that in the 2 years since it originally was instated in the WWE. As with anything in wrestling, there's a lot of criticisms, but I want to be optimistic for these championships, because today, here on Love Wrestling's YouTube, I give to you 5 teams I would like to see hold the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships in the future. Team number 1, Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez. Now, for kicking off all of this is a team that's getting an opportunity to take on the current WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler, this week on NXT after winning the first ever Women's Dusty Cup. Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez have been wrecking havoc throughout NXT for the last 365 days together, and I think they are a great unit. They play with each other very, very well, and I would like to see the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships on NXT a little bit more. Now, I know the Women's Tag Team Championships can kind of go between brand to brand to brand to defend those championships, but it is featured on NXT the least. So I'd like to see NXT get a little bit more shine with the Women's Tag Team Championships, and I honestly really do think that it'll give a chance for those titles to breathe and for those titles to grow in ways that it wouldn't on Raw and SmackDown, because the Women's Tag Team Championships are often kind of fiddle between storylines just to kind of progress things in other areas that aren't focusing on the Women's Tag Team Championships, but I digress. Dakota Kai, Raquel Gonzalez are a great unit. They have a great look. They're very different from anything else that I really think will be in this list, and anything else within the WWE. You do have a very Shawn Michaels Diesel kind of attraction going on with those two. So that is team number 1 that I would like to see hold the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships in the future. Team number 2, the Riot Squad. Liv Morgan and Ruby Riot have been kind of ushered in and out of being a team in the last 2 years since the inception of the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships, but right now, currently, they are a team. They did have that brief split up, and then of course Sarah Logan leaving and everything like that. They are a duo now as opposed to a trio, a squad if you will. But the Riot Squad, they're the most solid team within the whole division of WWE. They have the most accolades and the most right to call themselves a team. They're everything a team should be, and they're very different from one another, and they play with each other just so well. They have this kind of yin and yang kind of mentality, and I just like them, and I do think that, being a team for the entire time that the Women's Tag Team Championships, and even before the Women's Tag Team Championships were a thing, to see them get a reign as Women's Tag Team Champions, I just think it would be a lot of fun, and to have a face team kind of be the poster of WWE Women's Tag Team Championships, I think would be kind of cool, because it does seem to tend more with heels over its 2 years. So I'd like to see something else, and I'd just like to see these two women get a chance to really go and to really shine. And I know that it's a lot of talk about Liv and everything like that, but these two together is just really fun. So it's team number 2 I'd like to see with the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships in the future. Team number 3, the Bella Twins. Now, I know there's going to be a collective when I say the Bella Twins. Hear me out. I know that the Bella Twins are not the most popular when it comes to the internet and wrestling fans. They're certainly two of the they're under the biggest microscope when it comes to women within wrestling, and just the kind of stigma that they bring from the diva era that everyone tends to kind of have a sourness towards. Now, if anyone that knows me knows that I'm a very big fan of women's wrestling, and I'm a very big fan of all eras and what they did. Now, the Bella Twins. Why would I want the Bella Twins as WWE Women's Tag Team Champions? Well, it's very simple. Casual fans. You want those championships to grow. Everyone talks about how much they want to see more done with the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. They want to see them featured in a more prominent role. They want to see them be bigger and be presented bigger than they are. The Bellas will do so, because when push comes to shove, that is what the WWE likes to promote. They like to promote stars that know that they can go to other networks or on other shows and promote the WWE. They're proven to do so, whether it's just through Total Bellas, whether it's through news outlets and journalism and all of that kind of stuff. that they know how to do and go on talk shows and everything. I sometimes think people forget that these are regular guests on shows like The Kelly Clarkson Show and Ellen DeGeneres. They are known names. I'm not saying they're A-list celebrities, but they're certainly more of a celebrity than most wrestlers within the world of wrestling. So the Bella Twins are someone that can bring more eyes to the Women's Tag Team Championships and make them grow. And that's the reason they are team number 3 of who I want to see with the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships in the future. Team number 4, the Iconics. Now, please, do not yell at me for this one. I know, it's going to sound like I'm super biased because I love the Iconics and Australia and all of that kind of stuff. And I'm not going to defend that I'm not biased towards the Iconics. But I think a lot of criticism with the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships is they're just shoehorning people together just to give them championships. Probably a big reason why people didn't love the fact that Charlotte Flair and Asuka were champions. They were just kind of ushered together just to get the belts on someone else. So, hear me out in this one, folks. There's not too many teams within the female tag team division that have more chemistry and more tag team quality and more tag team continuity than the Iconics, Billie Kay and Peyton Royce. Their breakup was not a great thing to do. I love Billie Kay. I think she's absolutely excelling as a single superstar, but the same cannot be said about Peyton Royce. Put those two back together, we don't have to talk about anything. We'll act like it never even happened, that they split. They would be great with those Women's Tag Team Championships, and honestly, just to redeem that awful first run they had with the championships, because they did not get any chance to do anything with those championships, and I think it could have been a lot better than how it was presented. That's all I'll say on that one. So that is the 4th team of who I'd like to see hold the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships in the future. Team number 5, Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell. Now, the Way are so entertaining to me. I'll just throw that in there. I think they're fantastic heels and just not your typical kind of, I'm a mean person heel. They're funny and they're obnoxious and they're annoying. And anyway, that's a video for a different day. Candice and Indy. I like their chemistry. I like the way that they're very different with their aesthetic. I like them as a team, and they've built a nice solid little foundation in the time that they've been together. Again, we talk about teams that are just shoehorned together. We're getting and we're building teams within NXT. Even if you look at beyond Candice and Indy, actually think about it. There's a few teams actually building and working together to become great tag teams instead of being just thrust into the limelight that they do on the main roster. Candice and Indy would be a great little addition, and it would get the championships on NXT, which I said in the first reasoning. So I think it would be a great little way to kind of usher in a new team, bring someone up to the main roster as a team eventually, and get some shine on the Women's Tag Team Championships as a tag team championships. That's the key word there. It is a tag team championships. Not just two single superstars. People that actually work together and actually fit together. Candice and Indy are definitely two people that fit together and working together, and with everything with the Way, it just would be a fun championship reign. And as the final team, I'd like to see hold the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships in the future. And there we have it. There are 5 teams that I'd like to see hold the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships at some point in the future. I really want that division to be strong, and I really think it can be with the amount of amazing female talent they have under the WWE umbrella. It should work, and they should be presenting it in a better way. I'd like to see that little bit more of it actually going between 3 brands that we've got in little kind of sprinkles here and there, and hopefully we get more of that. But what are some teams you would like to see hold the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships in the future? Who are some teams you'd like to be established together and actually work together to see if we can get a team out of them? what are your opinions on all of the things with the Women's Tag Team Championships? Let me know in the comments below. I will be reading them, as well as Spencer and all of the Love Wrestling team. I hope you're enjoying everything here on Love Wrestling. If you want to check out any of my content, my links will be in the description below, along with all the links to Love Wrestling. If you want to hit me up on Twitter, talk about anything wrestling related, or really anything at all, you can do so at JoshRobinson00. Hit up Love Wrestling on Twitter at LoveWrestlingCA, as well as across all social medias. Hope you've enjoyed everything you've seen today. Make sure to leave a like on this video if you're liking anything here on Love Wrestling. Make sure to leave a sub and hit that bell so you're getting notifications, because that's the way you know that when we post a new video here to YouTube, you will be the first one to see it. But until next time, friends, I am Josh Robinson signing off for Love Wrestling.